Welcome to the Human Resources Education Committee meeting, committee as a whole for meeting on March 14, 2019. Ms. Campbell, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Green. Here. Mrs. Hines.
Here.
Mr. Derman.
Here.
Mr. Loop.
Here.
Mr. Harrell.
Here.
Mr. Nation.
He's on his way. He's caught in traffic.
Mrs. Richardson.
Present.
Mr. Winkler.
Mr. Winkler is representing the board at the parish council meeting.
Mrs. Drucker.
Here.
Mr. Betancourt.
Here.
Mrs. Lamy.
Here.
Mr. Hersey.
Mr. Hersey is ill.
Mr. Burrow.
Here.
Mr. Kuzan.
Here.
Mrs. Page.
Here.
Would everyone please stand and join us for the invocation and pledge led by Ms. Lamy? Prayer, both of them.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for bringing us here tonight safely. I pray that you would be with us, that you would give us wisdom and knowledge. I pray for each and every student that is here tonight, Lord, and the families they represent. I pray for each and every educator, teacher, staff, administrator that's here also. Please be with us and guide us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move to number C, recognition of visitors. Any board members have any visitors that they would like to recognize? Seeing none, then we'll move on to public comments. We have one person who signed up for 3 minutes, Ms. Barrios.
It's on or not. Lee Barrios, retired teacher. Tonight, I want to give a shout out to all the Louisiana National Board certified teachers and principals, but particularly our own St. Tammany educators. This is the second year that our governor has issued a proclamation acknowledging the state's appreciation for the work and the commitment of these teachers toward the advancement of professional educators to provide high-quality teaching and learning to impact student achievement. Tuesday, March 13th, was Louisiana National Board Certified Teacher Day. The National Board for Professional Teaching Standards was founded in 1987, designed to develop, retain, which should be of great importance, and recognize accomplished teachers, and to generate ongoing improvement in schools nationwide. Attaining National Board certification is a rigorous and demanding process during which teachers engage in continuous learning, collaboration, planning, analyzing, and reflecting upon teaching practices in order to achieve their certification. The process guides them through the best professional development experience available, and that process is ongoing for the rest of their teaching careers. 1,893 Louisiana teachers have achieved this certification since 1987, with St. Tammany having the third highest number in the state at 150. Last year, there were 61 still actively teaching in St. Tammany, which is really kind of incredible. I'm not going to give my full sales pitch tonight to encourage St. Tammany on the many ways it could capitalize on the experience and enthusiasm of our NBCTs, but I do want you and teachers in the parish to know that a new, invigorated, and determined Louisiana NBCT network, see our Facebook page, has been formed under the auspices and direction of the national organization to recruit and mentor more teachers who want to become candidates for national certification. I emailed all of you with the contact information in hopes you'll want to learn how St. Tammany can benefit from your support and encouragement for these accomplished educators. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barrios. Now we're going to move on to item number 3, approval of the minutes for the committee as a whole meeting held on February 7th, 2019. Do I have a motion? Moved by Mrs. Hines and second by Mr. Thurman? Mr. Thurman? Thank you. Okay. Any questions from the board or comments from the public? If not, everyone please vote. The motion passes. 13 yeas, 0 nays. Okay, we're gonna move on to item number 4, human resources.
Nothing for human resources.
We don't have anything, okay. Okay, with nothing for human resources, we're gonna move on to instruction. We will celebrate the arts, Mrs. Hanson.
My touchpad is froze.
Good evening, board members and Superintendent Foles. Tonight, we will celebrate the arts. Since 1961, March has been celebrated across the nation as Youth Art Month. Though we in St. Tammany Parish have good reason to celebrate the arts throughout the entire school year, we set aside this time to recognize the multitude of opportunities our students have had throughout the school year to participate in a variety of arts. And during the month of March, we emphasize the impact the arts education has on the development of our students. Our students will create through our visual arts classes and our performing arts classes, band, chorus, music, dance, and theater. Our students get the chance to create in a multitude of ways. All students are introduced to the arts in the elementary grades through classroom art and classroom music. They continue their journey in fine arts through their classroom music, choir, or band classes in their middle grades. And you can see in the picture, we have very large junior high, middle school bands. We have festivals every spring, and we have many participants in these, whether it's band or choir. We also attempt, if you see in the picture in the center, the young boy, he's in a music class, but the teacher's not only incorporating music, she's also incorporating movement in that. And one of the pictures that really struck me is at the bottom left is the art. That is a sketch by students at a middle school, at a junior high in Creekside, in which they spelled out the word art using sign language. So I felt that that was very unique and wanted to share that with you. In addition to offering formal arts education provided in our school, we also offer cultural arts events, bringing local artists, musicians, and dancers to our schools. Our partnership with Jazz Kids provides additional enrichment, enabling top artists in many genres to visit our schools and share the arts, history, and the science behind their craft. If you look at the bottom picture on the right, that is a student that was the artist, part of a Jazz Kids initiative, was able to bring to the students at Woodlake Elementary opportunities for them to also be part of their music and learned how to use some of the different instruments that they were using. So that was fun for them. When they asked for volunteers, there were hundreds of kids that shot their hands up in the air to participate. So you can see that throughout our schools, we're teaching art, music, and movement. We will continue to challenge our students in the arts. In this particular photo, you can see that I couldn't put all of the arts that was going on and the many ways in which the students are continuing their fine arts education into junior high and high school as an elective. And there's not enough room to put all of the pictures in there, but you can see that there is Fontainebleau High School's orchestra. There's Mandeville High School's band, and you can see how large they are. We have dance, we have violin, which is offered from K all the way to 12. And then we also have art classes, talented art classes, and we have theater programs in which many of the schools put on productions throughout the school year. The unit, they are required, students who are going to take a TOPS University pathway have to have at least, at minimum, one unit in fine arts. But you can see from this picture, and this is just a sampling of everything that goes on in junior high through high school, many of them continue in multiple fine arts areas. At this time, I want to share with you how we succeed in the arts. Let's take a look at how St. Tammany Parish Public Schools show success in music, art, and movement.
1, 2, 3, 4, up. The team.
As a former music teacher for elementary level and really seeing how hard it is around our state with budget cuts and such, I'm really promoting music, art, and movement in our schools.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And so I've heard great things about Covington High School. Really a lot of the schools here in St. Tammany are investing in music, art, and movement.
And I think today Governor Edwards' wife, Donna Edwards, got an opportunity to see what's happening at Covington High.
Now we're looking at a new key center. Who's got it?
There's tons of data that show that music, art, and movement promote the other core subjects, the subjects that are tested, and those are so important.
Many schools across our school system have the same commitment to the arts, and for her to be a former teacher, to come here and spend 45 minutes with us certainly uplifts us all, motivates us all to even do more.
Covington High School has got it down. They're doing amazing work, and as I've walked from class to class and seen the art classes and the choir and the dance, it's just incredible to see the investment that your parish has in this particular program.
We've always had a great program. Always done some wonderful plays and musicals, so it's really nice for somebody from the outside of the community to come in and to say, wow, you really have a great program.
As expressed in the video, Covington High School is but one example of how our students are succeeding in the arts. Another measure of our arts success is moving outside our doors to connect with the community and share our artistic talents. We will connect our community through the arts. These are just a few of the hundreds of events and activities that our art students participate in throughout the year. Whether it's through the St. Tammany Parish Fair, as you see in one of the pictures up there, the Louisiana School Board Association Art Contest, the Wildfowl Art Contest, Three Rivers Art Contest, or students going to the Pelicans game to perform the national anthem, students performing at Christmas events across the lake, going to nursing homes to help share their talents and to uplift the students in our community, as well as going as far to Florida, participate in the Disney marching band. Their marching band's going there to march down Main Street, or going up to Washington, D.C. to participate in memorial events. Our students connect with our community in many different ways. We will lead in using art to support and offer hope to others. Hopefully you got a chance before the board meeting tonight to be able to go into the atrium and see the 60 entries that our talented art students were elected to participate in. We had 60 entries of students who were willing to participate in this special project. They were asked to participate in a special project that's aimed at uniting our community in suicide awareness. As part of a Leadership North Shore project, some business colleagues of mine, working in coordination with Janelle Stein, our district mental health provider, and Lynette Savoy, who is the St. Tammany Outreach for the Prevention of Suicide Coordinator, STOPS is also what it's known as, we began work on a project to raise awareness within our community to prevent suicide. Our St. Tammany Parish talented art students are helping to lead this awareness through their art project. Let me explain briefly how the project was set up. The students were given the option of participating in this project, and with parent permission, they participated, and they were asked to create an image. That image was to go onto a poster a winning image was to go onto a poster. So of all the entries, we had to narrow down that those 60 entries that are on display in the atrium down to the top 11. 10 of those students will get a $100 scholarship through our team, Never Alone, United in Suicide Awareness, and one will get a $500 scholarship. We asked the students to focus on hope, heart, and healing. Focus on something that would unite, reach out to others, and let them know they're never alone. So, again, all of the artwork's on display, so if you didn't get a chance before, please go see it afterwards. These pieces of art will also be on different art galleries and art events on both the east and west side of the parish, so that, again, we can continue to raise awareness. The one poster winner will be on a poster in which we give information about STOPS and St. Tammany Parish Sheriff Smith's crisis intervention program in order to let people know who to contact if they're in distress or know someone who's in distress. I'd like to introduce briefly my members of the team that are here tonight. Well, one, we have Peggy Coleman, who is our president of our team, and she was not able to be here tonight, but the other members are Brenda Geyer, you'll stand and recognize, Renaza Heidelberg, John Wellborn, Freddie Ziegler, and myself. On the right side of the picture, you will see a team of judges. And when they walked into that room, that's the table they saw. A table that had 60 entries that they had to narrow down to just 11. So I'd like to just give you the names of the people who were on the committee to judge. They were community leaders, mental health, and art leaders. We had Sheriff Randy Smith. We had Adele Bruce Smith, who is the project coordinator for Safe Haven. Cindy Pulling, who is NAMI program coordinator, and as you know, it's the National Alliance of Mental Illness. Lynette Savoy, executive director of STOPS. Robin Williams, Tree Life Counts instructor. Janelle Stein, St. Tammany Parish mental health coordinator. Donna Laurent, St. Tammany Parish talented art coordinator. Jennifer Dewey, executive director of St. Tammany Art Association, and Alex Carolla, Slidell Cultural Arts director. So they went right to it, and they gave us the names of the top 11. So at this time, I'm going to ask the top 10 to go ahead and stand when we call them, and Mr. Heidelberg will present them with their $100 check. Okay, we have Emily Ashley from Mandeville High School. Sophia Bernard from Covington High School. Shannon Broke from Covington High School. Kaylin Butler from Salmon. Shelby Jones from Mandeville High School. Joey Logue from Lakeshore High School. Megan Michael from Covington High School. Samantha Sawyer from North Shore High School. And I'd like to recognize her principal, Mr. Frank Jabbia, for being here tonight. Tamara Washington from Lakeshore High School. And John Yu, again from North Shore High School. We certainly thank all of the 60 entries, and they will all be displayed to raise awareness for this critical issue in our community. Especially thank these 10 that are here today in order to put forth their heart, their hope, and their healing into their artwork. At this time, we will reveal the winning artwork, which does offer heart, hope, and healing, and does show that we want to reach out and help those in distress. Miss Daisy Shefflin from Mandeville High School. Please come forward. Her talented art teacher is Miss Christiani, and her principal is Mr. Bundy. And we certainly do thank you for your artwork. And at this time, we will give you the $500 award. Congratulations. Again, thank you to all of our students. All of the students who participated are winners. They have all contributed their talent to a much-needed community project. So we thank all of the schools, their parents. Oh, I meant to mention your father, Mr. Stephen Shefflin. If you'll please stand and be recognized. Thank you to all the teachers, the administration, the students, everyone, the principals for their support. We also thank Janelle Stein and Jennifer Dewey and Donna Laurent for their guidance and support. I'd also like to say a special thanks to Superintendent Fols, Mr. Jabbia, Dr. Sanford, and Mr. Kosei for their support and for allowing us to use the talents of our talented art students to address this critical issue that will impact not only our students, but our community as a whole. This concludes my presentations. I'm available
Ms.
to answer any questions. Yes.
Before I get into the comments and questions, I'd first like to congratulate you on an excellent presentation.
Thank
And I
you.
want to congratulate the students who received awards here tonight. Are there any other parents of these students here present? Would you please stand beside us? Thank you very much for coming out tonight. We appreciate you and everything you do. We want everybody to know that it's very important that we understand the importance of the arts in our school system and the development it makes in student success. Okay, right now, I'd like to open it up to any comments or questions from the school board. Ms. Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Kuzan. I'd just like to make a comment. I think it's fabulous that you all participated in this art competition, and I know that every one of your drawings were excellent, and appreciate that. I particularly think that the winning entry for the poster is a very compelling picture, and it could literally save someone's life. So thank you so much for putting so much time and effort into that. I think it's very, very good, and I really, again, appreciate all of you participating in that. And then going back to earlier in the presentation when we spoke about Donna Edwards coming to Covington High School and celebrating the arts at Covington High. Mr. Fols, would you like to share the invitation Mrs. Edwards extended that day? Do you remember? The show group?
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. Yes, while she was there, she was listening to the singers from Covington High perform, and they were talking about it would be nice in the opening session to have Covington High perform, so we said, well, we can make that happen. So unless things have changed since she was here, it's my understanding that representatives from Covington High School will be leading in the national anthem at the opening of the session, which I think starts on April the 8th. So yes, that's right.
Any more comments from the board? Any comments from the public?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mia.
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to thank you for your presentation. The arts are very important, not only to me, but to education. In so many realms, we talk about student achievement. And some of the things I've enjoyed researching is the impact of art. And what Dr. Hollowell, who is the innovator of Shine, what he says about the arts is that all great innovations and ideas come when you get in that mode of creation. So I do want to thank this district. I want to thank you. I want to thank Mr. Fols for their investment in the arts. And thank you for the art presentation tonight. That was wonderful. And good job, students.
It was awesome, yeah.
Okay, any more board members? Do we have any comments from the public? If not, once again, Ms. Henson, thank you very much for an excellent presentation. We can move on, right? We can move on now to item B, mental health initiative. Mrs. Stein?
While we're doing that, Meredith just reminded me that we also were invited and participated in a blog that will be on the First Lady's blog that she writes on the arts, where she featured our school system. Has that come out yet? Okay, it'll be coming out in a couple of days, so it was a feature of our school system in that manner as well. So we will be
Okay.
glad to share that with everyone as well.
Thank you. Good evening, Superintendent Fols and board members. Welcome to all the new school board members. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Janelle Stein. I'm the coordinator of mental health providers for our school system. And I'm here tonight to give you all some updates and to talk a little bit about some of our mental health initiatives that we have going on. First of all, I want to say thank you, really and truly, for voting to allow us to put full-time mental health providers in all of our schools. It has made a huge impact, and it has allowed the mental health providers to provide more consistent services and to reach those students who need services the most in school. We know that early diagnosis leads to better outcomes and early identification. So this being in the schools allows us to reach these students when they need the services the most. It hasn't been quite a full year yet, but we're already seeing improved outcomes and a lot of positive feedback, not only from our own staff members, but also parents and community members. The other thing that I wanted to do was give you all an update on the grants that we were awarded. When I was here last time, I was asked to come back and give some updates once we knew our next steps. And so just as a review, we applied for and we were awarded both grants. They're grants that will allow us to implement some evidence-based programming. Dr. Raphael Tillman is the project director of the grants, and we are working closely together with Dr. Sanford to implement these programs. We are also in close contact with Sandy Hook Promise. Those are the evidence-based programs that we're implementing. So we are fortunate enough to be implementing all 4 of their Know the Signs programs. The first training that we're going to be implementing is this summer. We're going to be training crisis teams from all 55 schools, and that's our safety assessment and intervention training. This is a really important training because it's teaching teams how to identify threats before they become acts of violence. So it's all about prevention, all about preventing school violence. The second program that we're going to begin training is equally important. Actually, it feeds right into our commitment to suicide prevention. It's the Signs of Suicide program. And we're going to begin training that early fall of 2019. So this is another suicide prevention initiative, and like I said, it fits nicely in with our strong commitment to suicide prevention because while we recognize what we can do as a school and also with our partnerships in the community, we continue partnering and having strong relationships with NAMI and STOPS, as well as we continue to have our youth suicide prevention focus group, which consists of many stakeholders, parents and students, and also a board member, Lisa Page. Miss Lisa Page, thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of our focus group and taking Miss Mullet's place, who had been with us since the beginning of our group, which was in 2013. So moving along with the Know the Signs programs, the Start with Hello program, we will begin in the fall of 2019. And this is a school-wide assembly-type training, and it's all about including and creating a culture and a sense of belonging. And then finally, our last training program will be the Say Something program. We'll begin that in the spring of 2020. And that's teaching students how to recognize signs, especially in social media, things that they're going to see way before we see, and then they know who to go to for help. So as you can see, we have a lot of great things that we're looking forward to, and I want to thank you all for your continued support of mental health. I also have Dr. Tillman here with me if you all have any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Stein. Do we have any comments from any board members?
Hi, I want to thank you for the presentation and also for everything that you're doing for our students and program. I'm here. And just say thank you. But I also wanted to ask for the trainings. I know you said the Start with Hello will be assembly style for the whole school. Will this be just for high school, junior high, all ages? And then the other programs, you told us when they would start with training, but are they also for the students? Are they for teachers? Or I know one was a crisis team for the Know the Signs.
Okay, so the safety assessment and intervention training, that's for the school teams.
Okay.
The Signs of Suicide program, that's for trained counselors or mental health providers, because they're going to be re-delivering that to students.
Okay.
And then the Start with Hello is for students, 6th grade to 12th grade. And then the same thing with the Say Something program. But elements of the Start with Hello program will be embedded throughout kindergarten to 12th. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much for all you're doing with that. That's excellent.
What was that second program? Hello was one, Say Something was the third one. What was the second one?
Signs of Suicide.
That's a big one. Ms. Page, do you have anything that you like to
I do. I just wanted to say thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you a couple weeks ago, and I'm just really excited, looking forward to working with you, and we just had a really good, productive meeting. I just wanted to thank you so much. And then Johnny, I just wanted to thank you so much. That's my buddy Johnny. I apologize for not recognizing you at the very beginning. So thank you so much. Where'd Lynette go? Thank you, Lynette, for all you do. So, and that whole crew, I'm just really looking forward to working with y'all. I think this is a very important topic. It's very near and dear to my heart.
Any more comments? Mike?
Thank you. I just got a quick question, and this, I was just curious about, are we tracking any of the, I guess what I'm trying to say is the different outcomes that may come from this as far as just general population within the schools and the discipline aspect, and kids not reacting violently and having someone to speak to, and those consequences and to the impact to the daily operations of the classroom. Are we tracking that data? I know it's just the first year and it's very early in that process, but do we have the capabilities to do that?
Absolutely. And part of the grant, it's embedded in the sustainability and also in the progress monitoring. So we have to submit reports and.
We have to submit reports that will justify our outcomes of implementing all four. But what's really good with this particular programs, it doesn't have to be as detailed. We have two consultants who are working with us on this program as well, and with conversations with them. And then when we're still in the planning phases, and we're going to have conversations with the Sandy Hook Promise representatives, and we're going to come up with an assessment of how we're going to measure success once we complete a year. It's a 3-year grant, so we're going to be doing this for a while. So we're in the planning stages to come up with that.
Great, because like I understand we're looking at a major consequence, helping to prevent a suicide or whatever it may be, but I'm just also worried about or interested in the overall outcome of the program that impacts lesser events, but it creates a better environment, and that's what, by these kids understanding it better and having a better ability to process all of this. I was just curious if we're going to be able to track that and look at our disciplinary issues in schools and see that the unintended consequences are actually more beneficial than just the isolated suicide or whatever it may be, that it's like we don't know who and where, but the masses.
These 4 different programs, they're not geared toward the discipline side of it. It's more about being proactive and what to do at the beginning. Okay. So I don't think the assessment piece will handle the discipline end of it. We'll focus more on recognizing, did we implement something that maybe help someone to not get to the discipline end of it. But
And I think that's going to be part of the challenge, is to somehow measure the things that we prevented from happening proactively. And those are going to be hard to measure, but those are the things that we're going to have to do. And that's what I'm hearing from schools and Janelle and Raphael and parents and others, that, you know, this event was prevented from happening, and that's going to be harder to measure. So that's going to be our challenge for that, to figure a way that we can do that. But I know that we are preventing things from happening because of what we're doing here with this program and the additional mental health providers in the schools.
And we're very excited about this program. It's going to beef up what we already have in place. We already have our not rapid responder, but our restorative justice. We have where our counselors and our MHPs, they already have their assessment piece with how to handle threats on campus. So with this additional training, it's going to beef up what we already have in place.
And I just wanted to add too, there is a correlation between the discipline, attendance. You know, when you look at things like after having some interventions put into place, you begin to see increased attendance, decreased discipline. You know, there's correlations, you know, but it's hard to take all the credit for that, to say that it was directly related to MHPs or directly related to this training, but there's definitely a correlation in all those prevention pieces. You know, exactly what you're saying, Mr. Dermott, it is the big, you know, suicide prevention and preventing school violence, but it's also all those smaller pieces that make up the landscape to prevent those things from happening. Helping students feel more connected. That's such a simple thing, but it's huge.
And then you also have to remember how important the awareness is, and then the community involvement. When you see the community leaders that are here tonight, that have on their own time came and recognized the importance of this for our school system, that can help but spread across this whole parish. And that's what we're talking about when it's a team effort, and that we need everyone together and work on this, because this is not just the St. Tammany Parish public school system problem or issue. This is a community St. Tammany Parish, and when people like this step up, it can only help us in their awareness and what we're trying to accomplish.
Oh, I totally agree, and I think it's a great component. And even if you drill down into the lower grades, it helps build a base for these children to work off of as they get older, where some of these other pressures become greater to them, but they've already built in a mechanism to deal with it, as opposed to looking towards suicide or whatever. So, I mean, I applaud y'all greatly. I mean, I'm just wanting to see some numbers that we can assess to it, and like I said before, the unintentional results that benefit not only our school system but the community. And hey, I'm all for it, but I just want to be able to look at some of those things and acknowledge the successes, like Mr. Foles said, even though they're not, that magnified, because it was something that didn't really happen, but yet it was an improvement to our school system. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? It's going to take a community effort with St. Tammany having such a high suicide rate. I think what we're doing is a part of that. But as Mr. Foe said, it's going to take all the efforts that we can from everyone to try to make these efforts a success. And one other thing I like to say is when you apply for the grant, it's a 3-year grant, but you have to include statistics in that presentation, don't you?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, any questions, any comments from the public on this issue? Okay, thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
At this time, if there's not any more business to come before this committee, I suggest that we adjourn. Thank you very much for being here.